Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I am Samuel Reese coming to you live tonight across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And tonight, it should be a fun broadcast. Some whip-around coverage of Round 2 in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. I'll start off with what should be an interesting game between Virginia Tech and Baylor. And looking at that hemisphere region, this is the 1-8 matchup as Aaliyah Boston has led the way all season long for South Carolina, paying attention to them, which I'll also be covering. South Carolina, Oregon State will be part of my coverage, as well as Georgia Tech, West Virginia. But as I promised, we'll start off with Virginia Tech and Baylor, where they have actually just tipped off. Moore, Shepard, King, Baines, and Kitely making up the starting five for the Hokies. And Baylor up 1-0 early on, an early free throw getting them on the board. Second round action, this in the Riverwalk region. A nice pull-up jumper converted by Dee Richards. And that shot denied. What a block. Denied by Queen Egbo. And here come Baylor the other way. Unable to convert the layup was Nalissa Smith, but it is last off of Virginia Tech and will stay in possession of the Bears. By the way, the South Carolina-Oregon State matchup is the 1-8 matchup. I'm getting all mixed up. The 2-7 is this one between Baylor and Virginia Tech in the Riverwalk region. Corner 3, and Urson connects. 4 points already for her. This Baylor Bears team coming out hungry to start. Virginia Tech, meanwhile, trying to play spoiler and pull off what would be a huge upset. Here's another block. This time it's Smith. Virginia Tech, whenever they've taken it to the cup, have been denied time and time again. With it here for Virginia is Georgia Amore. Now it's Shepard. Shepard lost the handle, and there's the steal by Baylor. Pass to the right wing. Down low with the finish is Nalissa Smith. She's been all over the place to start this game. 7-0 Baylor lead. Oh, what's going on, Grant? How you doing? I'm doing well. It has been a while, Grant. Thanks for tuning in as that corner 3 is converted by Kayla King. Thanks for stopping by, Grant. I appreciate that. This is yeah, I've been stopping by on a couple of your streams when I've been able to on YouTube. Sometimes I got to go somewhere though, so I don't have enough time to comment and let you know I'm there. But I have been tuning in. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping by, Grant, and thanks everyone for tuning in on this Tuesday night. It's a 4 days off in men's March Madness, so the second round has just begun though for the women's tournament, and I follow the women's tournament a little bit, mainly UConn, who will be in action later tonight. As that shot won't go for Georgia Amore. Here come the Bears up 7-3. Yeah, for sure. One of these days when I'm available, I'll definitely be willing to come on whenever you guys would like me. As that is a bank shot converted by Moon Urson. She's been unbelievable to start this game. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great, Grant. Now it's Virginia Tech underneath the hoop. It's kicked out by Amore. Bounce pass from Greg. The fadeaway is short. No good from Elizabeth Kitely. And here comes Baylor again. That won't fall on the effort by Trinity Oliver. And now Virginia Tech will look to slow it down. 9-3, Baylor on top early on in this second round matchup in the Riverwalk region. 2 versus 7. And that's a walk. Traveling violation going against Elizabeth Kitely. And so it's a turnover that Virginia Tech can really not afford to do too much against this Baylor team, who will certainly take advantage. Second turnover of the game for Virginia Tech. Pass to the right wing. Urson feeds it inside, and the layup is good by Egbo. And Baylor take an 8-point advantage. Egbo on the season averaging 11.3 points per game. And that 3 won't go. It's rebounded by Smith. Smith with the Euro step. Could not finish. Went coast to coast, but could not get it to go. Now a 3 ball. Good. A big shot from the right wing. It's Kayla King with all 6 Virginia Tech points, courtesy of 2 3-pointers. Now Urson with a 3 of her own. That won't go. Rebound underneath by Kittley. Here comes Virginia Tech midway through the opening quarter. Faking the 3 was Shepard. Shepard now with it in the corner. She'll take the shot. Too strong. And the rebound is collected by Dee Richards. Baylor play at a fast pace. It's no surprise. We've seen them play this way for years now. Urson with the pass into the lane. The pull-up, no good from Richards. A 5-point Baylor Bears lead with 4:25 remaining in the opening quarter of play. Bounce pass down low. And that pass stripped away. It could not find Deja Gregg. And now Urson goes in, draws the foul, and will head to the line. 4:07 remaining in the opening quarter of play. And it's Baylor with an 11-6 lead early on over Virginia Tech, with a spot in the Sweet 16 on the line from San Antonio, the single site for the entire NCAA women's basketball tournament this year. And now I'll head over to the final moments of the West Virginia Georgia Tech game, where it looks like Georgia Tech are well on their way to a victory. 65-48 the score. That's a nice bounce pass. And Georgia Tech really piling it on now as a timeout is called, and Georgia Tech are rolling at the moment. 67-48. It's the Blue Jackets on top, the 5 seed looking to knock off the 4 seed West Virginia. We already saw a 5 seed defeat a 4 seed earlier today when Iowa really dominated Kentucky. That was a bit surprising. But the 4-5 matchups today have in the end not been very close. Lotamaj Latanen for Georgia Tech, 22 points tonight. She's been 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. Her third 20-plus point game of the season, leading the way for Georgia Tech. And they have a 19-point lead with 3:24 to go in this game. The winner, by the way, will play either South Carolina or Oregon State, which is just tipped off. And that game will be part of my Whiparound coverage. I'll get to that game once this one comes to a close. Here is Taylor Hemingway. 3 ball on the way. Well short, but it's picked up underneath by Niblack. And Niblack with a nice jumper pulling up for the deep 2. And it's 67-50. West Virginia with the full court press. And that ball is tipped, but it will be Georgia Tech ball. The Mountaineers really in a bit of a desperate situation at this point. It's been a quiet night for Gondrezic of the West Virginia Mountaineers. Here are Georgia Tech. Oh, it's banked home. The 3-point shot off the window and in. What a shot that was. And Georgia Tech continue to cruise. West Virginia do respond. 2-point basket is good, 70-52 with 2:12 remaining. By the way, with that last three for Virginia Tech, it was Kiera Fletcher off the window. An 18-point lead into the final 2 minutes now. And that's a foul against the Mountaineers. This game being played at the home of UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, part of Conference USA. Here's Fletcher. Now Hermosa to Kubai. Straightaway three, too strong. Rebounded by West Virginia. And a strong a strong drive to the basket, and Kubai takes the charge for the Blue Jackets. Georgia Tech force West Virginia into a turnover. Here is the star of the game, Lahtinen. The winner will face South Carolina or Oregon State in the Sweet 16 as Kubai draws contact on the shot, and she will head to the line for 2 free throws. Laurella Kubai, 20 points, 10 of 17 from the field, 12 rebounds, an all-around impressive performance from Georgia Tech, and they'll be moving on to the Sweet 16 in the Hemisphere region. She knocks down the first of 2 free throws, and the second rims out. There for the rebound was West Virginia, and a foul at the other end. It'll be Hemingway to the line. Thanks everybody for tuning into the broadcast. Much appreciated as always. 62 seconds to play in this one. The inbounds pass goes to Martinez, handed off, and that shot well short. And afterwards, foul committed by Martinez. Georgia Tech in the bonus, and they now begin to celebrate with 53 seconds to go, and West Virginia's season will come to a close. And that's it for Martinez. Her 5th foul. She fouls out. Her night comes to a close. 53 seconds sooner than she would have liked. And the first free throw is no problem for Anaya Boyd. An incredible run this season for Georgia Tech, and it's still going. It will carry into the Sweet 16. Both free throws converted, and it's a 73-52 Georgia Tech lead. 45 seconds to play. Here's Carson. Carson with a pass to the left wing. And the layup goes. Nice finish from Hemingway. You gotta give that to West Virginia. They're battling to the very end as we have 35 seconds left now. And it looks like some substitutions will be made. A chance to get some reserves in for the final few minutes. It's all smiles for the Blue Jackets of Georgia Tech. Here is McQueen. About a 5-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. McQueen kicks it out. The deep three ball won't go. Off the mark was Carter, and West Virginia will maybe have one last shot. 10 seconds to go. It's pushed ahead in the corner. Driving the baseline and laying it in is Jenks, and that will do it. Georgia Tech dribble it out. It's all over in San Antonio, 73-56. The 5 seed Georgia Tech knock off the 4 seed West Virginia, and the run continues for the Blue Jackets. On to the Sweet 16 they go, and you can tell how much it means to them by the reaction. A big moment for Georgia Tech, and they're not done yet. They will look to continue this run no matter who they end up facing in the Sweet 16, whether it's Oregon State or South Carolina. It was just an evening where the Blue Jackets showed up. They outplayed West Virginia in all facets. It was pretty close for a while, but Georgia Tech in the end able to pull away and get the victory. So look at the updated bracket in the Hemisphere region. Georgia Tech, the first team in that region to punch their ticket into the Sweet 16. On Saturday or Sunday, they'll face the winner of South Carolina and Oregon State, which is currently taking place. And then the winners of UCLA and Texas and Maryland, Alabama will face off. That UCLA-Texas game tomorrow at 9 Eastern. And that Maryland-Alabama second-round matchup tomorrow at 1. So that's what the Hemisphere region looks like. It's all smiles for Georgia Tech. The emotions on full display, and let's listen in to the thoughts of the coach. I'll let you guys take a listen of the words of Nell Fortner.
They have battled and fought and just believed, and I'm just super happy for them right now. Absolutely.
Now, you said this team was gritty, and that was grittiness personified for 40 minutes. You had said it was hard to find an answer for Kaiser Gondrzik. Now, she finished this game with just 3 points. How effective, and why was your defense so effective?
I think we did some different things on her. We switched up some things during the game, different ways to defend the on-ball screen. Then we finally put a freshman on her that's got a lot of length on her, and I think that bothered her a lot. But our defense, we just locked in today. I thought we did a really good job just for 40 minutes, so super proud of them.
Well, your defense was locked in. Lodamai Lotnin was locked in offensively, 22 points, 4 of 9 from deep. And I'm going to be honest with you, she was just so much fun to watch. It felt like everything she was throwing up was going to go in tonight.
Well, you know, she really struggled in the first round. She just struggled so bad against Stephen F. And so I know, and usually when she struggles in a game, the next one she has is a big game. So super happy for her. She's gritty. She's competitive. Just came out and just was not going to be denied today. So really happy for that kid.
Now, in your second season with this program, you know, you talked about bringing in the overseas players because of the maturity that they bring. And it was just incredible to watch Laurella Kubai just be bouncy, be active, go out and hunt the rebounds out there. Can you describe what her performance meant to this game?
Yeah, well, that's who Lo is. She's a high-energy player, a great athlete at 6'4", but her high motor just keeps her just churning on both ends of the floor. But she has a nose for the ball. She goes and gets it, and so and today was no different. But she's done that for us all year long, and you know, we need her. I mean, she knows that, but she's a pure joy to coach and to see her accomplish the things that she is this year. Just really happy for her.
Now it's the second time in school history Tech has made it to the Sweet 16. You now await the winner between South Carolina and Oregon State. What's it going to take to win another game and go a little deeper in the dance?
Well, I don't have the formula for that right now, but I'm going to go back and we're going to figure that out in the next few days. We'll see who we're playing, but yeah, we're happy to be in the Sweet 16 and to get this far is not just what we're looking for. Yeah, we want to advance, and at this point, you never know. But boy, who knows? Tonight we'll be watching that game with great intent.
Can we get an yes?
Hell yeah!
Wonderful.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, there you have it from Nell Fortner, head coach of Georgia Tech. They come out on top. What a performance it was. What a gritty performance it was, as the coach Nell Fortner put it. And Lotta Mai Lotnin with a huge performance tonight. She tipped the game over, didn't she? And she's a big reason why Georgia Tech were able to get the victory tonight. And they want to continue the run. They're looking to make it to the Elite Eight. First, the Sweet 16 is up, where they'll face either Oregon State or South Carolina. Between the two foreigners, Lotnin and Kubai, they combined for 43 points, 22 for Lotnin, 21 for Kubai. 4 rebounds for Lotnin. Kubai had 12, and those two led the way for Georgia Tech in this one. An impressive performance, to say the least. I don't think many saw this coming, especially earlier in the season. But here you have it, Georgia Tech into the Sweet 16, and how sweet that must feel for them. So they will either play on Saturday or Sunday against South Carolina or Oregon State in the Sweet 16. It's UCLA versus Texas and Maryland versus Alabama in the bottom half of the Hemisphere region bracket. And so the 5 seed Georgia Tech are into the Sweet 16, a rare appearance this deep into the tournament for them. But they're making the most of their time in San Antonio, that's for sure. One of the first teams to clinch a spot in the Sweet 16, and 73-56 the final. They ultimately beat West Virginia quite comfortably by a 17-point margin. How about that, folks? Lotnin, the player of the game, no doubt, bouncing back from a bit of a no-show in the opening round. A statement performance from the Blue Jackets. They're moving on to the Sweet 16. All right, well, that will do it for my coverage of Georgia Tech and West Virginia. With that game having concluded, I'll now head for the first time to the Oregon State-Baylor game. The Oregon State-South Carolina game before going to the Baylor-Virginia Tech game. Remember, the winner of this one between South Carolina and Oregon State will take on Georgia Tech. As it's 16-16. Oregon State are an 8 seed, but you can't put them under the radar. Looking to pull off the upset against the Gamecocks tonight. Here's Talia Van Olhoven with the ball. The 3, too strong, and it's rebounded by South Carolina. Second quarter, 3 minutes in. This pass finds Amy here. Now inside for Aaliyah Boston. Boston pounding her way in and getting the shot to go. Nice work by her. She's in double figures, 10 points. Her third field goal, and South Carolina are back in the lead. 8 points in the paint for both teams early on in this one. If you give Aaliyah Boston the ball down low, she's most likely going to do some damage. And that's what we've seen so far. In the first round, She had 20 points, 18 rebounds, and 3 assists. Just a monster performance. She was the Naismith Player and Defensive Player of the Year finalist with good reason. Here comes South Carolina flying down the floor, and eventually walking was Zia Cook. And with 6:26 to go in the second quarter, South Carolina turned the ball over. Oregon State on the season have shot 41% from beyond the arc, which leads Division I. However, tonight to start, they're just 14%, an abysmal 1 of 7 from downtown. So it certainly hasn't been the start Oregon State have been seeking in the department where they're really good at. However, it is just a 2-point game. There's another steal by the South Carolina Gamecocks into the hands of Boston. Boston all the way in, draws the foul, and 2 free throws are on the way. Yeah, Oregon State are going to have their hands full dealing with Boston. 2 free throws here. She misses the first. 5:57 left in the half. Aaliyah Boston, AP, made the AP first team All-American, SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Year. And as I mentioned, the Naismith Player and Defensive Player of the Year finalist. She makes both shots at the line, 19-16. And once again, Oregon State turned the ball over. It was lost by Von Olhofen. And she committed a foul in retaliation. She'll now come out for the Beavers. Of course, the Oregon State men's team with a win the other night against Oklahoma State punched their ticket into the Sweet 16. Can the women do the same? Here's a 3 ball off the mark, and it cannot be saved. Oregon State ball. Yeah, look at those 4 Naismith Player of the Year finalists in the NCAA tournament entering tonight. Boston, 20 points, 18 rebounds. Paige Beckers, of course, 24 points, 9 of 13 shooting. Ryan Howard with Kentucky in 2 games, averaged 21 points, 7 rebounds. And Dana Evans with Louisville, 15 points on 6 of 16 shooting in Louisville's opener. South Carolina basketball. This is brought up by Destiny Henderson. On the left wing, it's Cook. Now Boston into the corner. That was a 2 off the mark, and it's last touched by Aaliyah Boston. Oregon State ball. Just about midway through the second quarter. Both teams struggling a lot from downtown. South Carolina 0 for 6. I mentioned Oregon State being 1 for 7 to start this one. Oregon State can start to heat up from downtown, then they will have a chance. What a spin move, but unable to finish. That time was Sasha Goforth. On the left wing, it's Cook. Nice pass down low. And a clean block. What a denial. Saxton wanted the foul called, but it was a clean block by Ellie Mack. The Oregon State Beavers hanging tough early on. They trail by 3 with 4.5 to play in the first half. All right, as they head to a media timeout, let's check on Baylor and Virginia Tech, where it's all Baylor early on. They have a 24-11 lead with 6:42 to go in the first half. Bears certainly showing up so far. Virginia Tech already with some work to do to get back into this game. There's a three on the money. Knocked down by Carrington. And the lead is extended to 16. Here's Shepard from way out. And Virginia Tech respond with a three ball of their own. Shepard can get hot in a moment's notice. That three, no good. But an offensive rebound, the putback off the mark. Another offensive board, and the third try is successful, 29-14. Now it's Virginia Tech at the other end. Shepard is fouled. The call going against Caitlin Bickle. About halfway through the second quarter. Remember, it's 10 4-minute quarters. Sorry, 4 10-minute quarters for women's college basketball compared to 2 20-minute halves for the men. Not sure why it's different. The women used to be 2 20-minute halves, but then they went to quarters quite a number of years back, but I can remember when it was halves. As the putback is good. Doing the dirty work is Egbo. She has 7 points, 5 rebounds, and it's a 17-point lead for the Bears with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's a drive and a foul called as Shepard will go to the line. Timeout on the floor. Baylor wasting no time in this one. A 31-14 lead for the Bears. What a start for the 2 seed. Baylor used to being a 1 seed, not this year though. But they don't care about what seed they are, as I'll head back over to the South Carolina Oregon State game. Some great second round matchups to look forward to tomorrow in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Round 2 today and tomorrow. The Sweet 16 Saturday, Sunday. Elite 8 Monday, Tuesday. That shot goes 21-16. This game taking place, by the way, at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. This is where the Final Four and final will take place. A steal and a finish by Destiny Henderson. 6 points and 3 steals already for her. Just like that, South Carolina lead by 7. That three-pointer is blocked. Crosdale was denied. South Carolina looking to get into a rhythm out of the timeout. Pull up, won't go. And a defensive rebound reeled in by Savannah Samuel. Oregon State just 1 for 7 in the second quarter, and they've turned the ball over 5 times. Here's Goodman. And another steal. This time it's stolen away and finished at the other end. How about it? This time getting in on the action was Amahir. Just a miscommunication between Oregon State teammates and a quick timeout called by the Beavers. South Carolina rolling at the moment, leading by 9 with 3:23 to go in the half. And that's really a much-needed timeout called by the Beavers. South Carolina do feel like they have some unfinished business. Of course, last season they finished 32-1, 16-0 in the SEC. They were ranked number 1 in the country for 9 weeks. They had 2 WNBA first picks in Harrigan and Harris. But of course, right before the NCAA tournament started, it got called off as the COVID-19 pandemic hit the country and everything went on pause. So South Carolina, after having really a perfect season, being unable to cap it off last year with a national championship, trying to take care of some of that unfinished business this time around. It hasn't been, nearly as good of a season as, it's been a great season. Don't get me wrong. They're a 1 seed, but hasn't been perfect. They have had 4 losses, a 23-4 record, that 3 from way out. It won't fall. And now here comes South Carolina. Nice ball movement. It's on the left wing with Cook. Thinking about the 3 was Littleton. Gets it back to Cook. Her 3 ball off the mark. An offensive rebound, though. And on the putback, Emma here was fouled. 2 free throws for her. Well, this is really a point in the game where you feel like Oregon State have to have some type of response, or the Gamecocks could take off with this game in a hurry. First free throw rolls out. Coming up at halftime, I'll talk about Baylor aiming for the Sweet 16 again, and Caitlin Clark putting on a show against Kentucky. Michigan taking down Tennessee as well. There were some big results earlier in the day, and I'll talk all about it at halftime of the 2 games taking place right now. Yeah, how about that from Michigan? Knocking off the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, year after year, have been doomed in the round of 32. And that's once again the case this year. How about that block? South Carolina looking to push it. With it is Henderson. Now inside, it's Amahir, who took too many steps, a traveling violation. As South Carolina turn it over, they have a 10-point lead, 26-16 the score. The problem for Oregon State is they're getting no production on offense. It's been a 10-0 run for South Carolina since the 6:47 mark of quarter 2. And we're only 2 minutes away from halftime now, and Oregon State only have 16 points on the board. They played solid defensively, but too many turnovers, and that's another one. The steal by Henderson and the layup at the other end puts the South Carolina Gamecocks up by a dozen. 9 points off of turnovers now for South Carolina. None for Oregon State on the other hand. Oregon State working it inside, and a much-needed layup converted by Taylor Jones. Her second field goal of the game, 4 points now. What's going on, Drew? Welcome into the broadcast. Porto or Chelsea? I assume you're asking who I think is going to win, because they are my 2 favorite European clubs. So when it comes to who I'm going to cheer for, I don't know. I hate how they got drawn against each other. But when it comes to who's going to win, I think Chelsea will get the job done. I mean, who am I going to root for? Yeah. I honestly don't know. Yeah, Chelsea should win. It would be a big disappointment if they don't. With that being said, though, you can't underestimate Porto. But I mean, yeah, exactly. I root for whoever wins to win the tournament. Yeah, guaranteed a team in the semis. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because I really like both teams. So I don't know. That shot was partially blocked. And here come Oregon State. as the shot at the horn is well short of the basket. And South Carolina end the half on a 14-2 run. Oregon State making just one of their last 10 field goals. And the Gamecocks have a 12-point lead, 30-18 the score, in a low-scoring first half. Well, it isn't really any surprise that South Carolina have the 12-point lead at the break. But if Oregon State being an 8 seed, it would be a big upset if they do somehow come back. But they've simply got to make their shots. Give credit to South Carolina. They've displayed some great defense. Henderson alone had 3 steals. I did make a March Madness bracket. Yeah. I made one for both the men's and women's. For the men's, I had Gonzaga winning. So at least despite all the upsets happening on the men's side, at least my champion is still alive. But other than that, my bracket's pretty much destroyed. I think everyone's is by now. Yeah, there's been some crazy upsets in March Madness. It's been a thrilling tournament so far. Looking forward to the Sweet 16. We got to wait till Saturday though, so we got to be a little bit patient with 4 days off until Saturday. But it was a fun weekend of March Madness, that's for sure. Oh, really? Wow. Bama against Nova. Okay, interesting. I did have Alabama in the Final Four. I had them losing in the Final Four. But I had Villanova losing to I had them losing in the first round to Winthrop. So that did not go well. But it is what it is. I should make short 5 to 10 minute videos on my channel, like Grant does. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I just need to find time to do some short videos. Doing doing broadcasts where I commentate games is much easier. I suppose now and then I could find an opportunity to do some short videos and talk about things, but I just honestly never find the time to do it. I have thought about doing it before, but we'll see. By the way, UConn in action later tonight, as they'll take on Syracuse. UConn, number 1 seed. No surprise there, as they're seeking their 27th consecutive Sweet 16 appearance. That's just mind-boggling. I mean, this is their 32nd NCAA tournament appearance, by the way, all consecutive. And they've reached 12 straight Final Fours, which is an NCAA record. I mean, the stats for this UConn team is just mind-boggling. They're 25-1, facing a Syracuse team that is 15-8. Connecticut leads the all-time series against Syracuse, 39-12. Syracuse only made the Sweet 16 once, and that was back in 2016. It would be a huge upset if they can somehow pull it off tonight. And Oklahoma State will also be facing Stanford at 9 Eastern. Stanford seeking their 13th straight Sweet 16 appearance, which would be the third longest all time. You like making digital art so you can make thumbnails? Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for the offer. Definitely appreciate that. When all is said and done, and we get to the Final Four of the women's tournament, that will take place Friday, April 2nd, semifinals at 6 and 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Sunday, April 6th, it's the national championship game at 5 Eastern. So we're inching closer to the second half. Baylor taking over against Virginia Tech, and South Carolina doing the same in that second quarter against Oregon State. Both of the favorites in the two games taking place right now. Up like we expected them to be. And both games at halftime as we speak. So I'll step aside for a quick break. But after this, we'll get set for the second half of both these games. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back in, everybody. Want to play some much-needed Guess Who? I mean, the second halves are about to start in both of the games, but if you really want to, I guess I'll do one, but you got to go. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. Nonetheless, Drew, I appreciate that. So, yeah, Baylor with a 44-20 lead over Virginia Tech. I mean, there's no coming back for Virginia Tech. Once this Baylor team gets going, good luck. Egbo for Baylor contributing in all aspects, I should say, really. 8 points, 6 rebounds, 4 blocks for Egbo. And this Bears team right out of the gates just came out firing and wasted no time whatsoever. An impressive start, and they never stepped off the gas. Virginia Tech with a huge mountain to climb in the second half. It's not looking too good for the Hokies, trailing by 24 at the break. But, crazy things can happen. But I'd be absolutely shocked. That would be the shock of the tournament if Baylor somehow choked this lead. This should be a breeze in the second half. I'll mainly be focusing in the second half on the Oregon State South Carolina game, which is a much closer one. And I do think Oregon State have the ability to keep this game within reach. They just got to get into a rhythm. They have to protect the ball better, and they have to make their shots, which they're capable of doing. It just didn't happen in that first half. Oregon State were 1 of 7 from 3. They ended the half shooting 1 for 10. Something like 6 turnovers. And if they continue to do that, then South Carolina will comfortably see out this game. But I think Oregon State will be well aware that they have to turn things around in the second half if they want to get the upset victory over the Gamecocks. Earlier, it was Georgia Tech taking on West Virginia. I was on the call for the very end of this one. And how about the performance from Georgia Tech? This game was real close throughout the first half. West Virginia were actually leading at some points, but Georgia Tech just kept on shooting away and playing solid defense. A gritty win. It was really that third quarter where they took off and stretched that deficit out and really made it impossible for West Virginia to come back. A reminder that the remaining games tonight in the second round of the NCAA Women's Tournament, it's Syracuse against UConn at 9 Eastern time. At the same time, Oklahoma will be in action as they take on another 1 seed, and that would be, of course, Stanford. So, sorry, I was looking at the matchups for tomorrow. As Niga Mule for Connecticut is questionable for tonight's game against Syracuse, by the way. She had a sprained right ankle in UConn's first round game against High Point. I mean, obviously she's going to be missed if she's unavailable to play. And I think honestly they might be better off just not risking it, because even without her, UConn are going to be the heavy favorites for this one against Syracuse. I don't think they should have any issue, even without Nika Mule. And the Sweet 16 won't be until the weekend, until Saturday, so there'll be time to rest up and heal that ankle. So I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't play, if I'm being honest with you, and I wouldn't really blame UConn if they didn't play her, even if she's close to 100%. Do you really want to risk it? I mean, I understand it's a win or go home scenario, but UConn are such a great team that even without her, they should be in prime position to take care of business against Syracuse, but we shall see. All right, well, Virginia Tech and Baylor about to get the second half underway. Meanwhile, Oregon State and South Carolina are starting the second half as we speak. In fact, they're about a minute into the second half, so that's where we'll head to now. Or no, actually, they're still at halftime for about a minute longer. So, yeah, going over some earlier results before the second halves begin in both these games. NC State took down South Florida by 12. South Florida hung tough for a while, just could not quite manage to pull off the upset over NC State. So another 1 seed moving on to the Sweet 16, the Wolfpack, the ACC champions, getting business done. All right, after the break, it's out to second half action in both the games taking place. Stay tuned. It's Whiparound coverage of the NCAA Women's Tournament. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back into the broadcast, everybody. There's been some terrific performances so far in this tournament, and there was one earlier today, and that would be the play of Kayla Clark. She went off for the Iowa Hawkeyes earlier this afternoon as the Hawkeyes took down the University of Kentucky, 5-seed Iowa, defeating the 4-seed Kentucky. Kayla Clark has been putting on a show throughout the season, and 86-72 was the final. Kayla Clark, 35 points. My goodness. She single-handedly might be a reason why Iowa could be a dark horse for the rest of this tournament. She's been absolutely brilliant. Meanwhile, Michigan took on Tennessee. And how about the Wolverines? Michigan, the women's basketball program at Michigan really wasn't well known for a while. But the last couple of years, they've been getting better and better and better. A 6 seed this year, and they took down the Tennessee Volunteers, the 6 beating the 3. And how about that for Michigan? A 70-55 victory. And watch out for them. Meanwhile, as I mentioned earlier, South Florida took on NC State. It was South Florida actually who had the lead at some points in the first half. NC State, though, in the end did get the job done. It was no easy job. South Florida actually had a 1-point edge at the intermission, but NC State took over in the third quarter. It was a dominant third quarter from the Wolfpack as they really extended that lead and put it out of reach for USF. 79-67 the final, the 1-seed NC State into the Sweet 16. And so that is your update of all the second round action today. It's been a pretty busy day of action in the second round of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. And halftime has come to a close in the South Carolina-Oregon State game, so that's where I'll head to now as they are ready to get the second half started. And Oregon State limited to 18 points, 30-18 the score after 20 minutes of play. We'll see if the Beavers can turn things around in this second half. They'll need to if they want to pull off the upset. South Carolina with just, very alert defense, coming up with big steals, and Oregon State tied for the fewest amount of points in any half this season with just 18. South Carolina had 18 points inside the paint, 12 outside. And that's the type of team the Gamecocks are. We're underway in quarter 3. Oregon State in possession, trailing by a dozen. And there's an off-the-ball foul, as it will be called against Saxton. Aaliyah Goodman went down for the Beavers. She has 5 points. It'll be inbounded from the baseline. It's lobbed in, and how about a steal by South Carolina? The same old story, and the finish with a left hand at the other end by Zia Cook. 32-18. The same old story to start the second half. 11 points off of turnovers for the Gamecocks. Moving it along the perimeter are Oregon State. Saxton to Cook. Or rather, Corusdale with the drive. She can't finish on the layup. And now it's in the corner with Cook. She fakes the 3. Drive. And the bank is open for Destiny Henderson. 34-18. It's just the start to the second half. South Carolina we're looking for. Now here's a 3 ball. Off the mark on the effort by Goodman. Foul called. It's on the floor. Down low against Taylor Jones. And how about that quick basket off of the inbounds pass? 36-18. It's not the start to the half Oregon State we're hoping for. 8:41 left in the third quarter, and a timeout already called by the Beavers, who trail by 16 now, trying to prevent this game from getting out of reach. Wow, what a start to the half for the Gamecocks, wasting no time whatsoever. Meanwhile, heading back to the Virginia Tech Baylor game, a 24-point Baylor Bears lead. They're set to begin the second half as we speak. 44-20 the score. Baylor in a very comfortable position as we get set to begin the second half. This Baylor Bears team, when they play as good as they're capable of playing, I mean, there's only a few teams in the country are stopping them, or could have a chance of stopping them. That's even in question. But Virginia Tech have had trouble dealing with the size of Baylor. Baylor have just overpowered their opponents. And it's been a very frustrating first half for Kitley, who's one of the star players of this Virginia Tech team. She's been blocked on multiple occasions, and nothing going right now for the Beavers. They'll try to change that, or rather for the Hokies, they'll try to change that around here in the second half. Baylor with plus 16 points in the paint, plus 13 rebounds, 8 blocks. Virginia Tech just 27% from the field, and Kitley was limited to 2 points. She's averaged 18.7 on the season. Oh, that's a good start for Kitley as she knocks down the jumper and opens up the scoring in the second half. Here's a feed down low, and it's finished by Melissa Smith. Now is Shepard. That three no good. Offensive rebound collected underneath. It's kicked out. Top of the key with Amore. Her three is on the money. And that's more like it from Virginia Tech, 46-25. Speaking of threes, Baylor shooting quite efficiently from beyond the arc so far. 4 of 9. Can they make it 5 of 10? No. Too strong. On the three was King. Gets her own rebound. Was Carrington, excuse me. And there's the bucket for Nalissa Smith again. She's got 6 points, 4 to start the second half. That pass takes a deflection, and it's last touched by the Hokies. Turn it over once more. 8:39 left in quarter 3. Baylor with a 23-point edge. Cross-court pass from Smith. Now Carrington in the lane. Smith passes to the corner. No one was there. Smith claiming it got deflected, but it is Oregon State basketball. Eight points, 3 assists for Georgia Amore. Can she get going for Virginia Tech early on in the third quarter? And along the baseline, Smith got a hand of that one. Partial block. Here come Baylor. Quarter 3 on the way, and it's good. It's Urson from downtown. 14 points, her first three-pointer. And Baylor have their largest lead of the night, 51-25. And a timeout called by Virginia Tech. Well, how about that for a start to the second half? Baylor not missing a beat. And with that timeout, I'll head back over to the other game between Oregon State and South Carolina. 8:07 left in the third quarter, 36-19, South Carolina leading. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Carosdale down low, back outside. Carosdale in the corner, feeds it inside. That will drop for Taylor Jones. That's what I think Oregon State need to do more of. The three-point shot hasn't really been falling for them, but can they work it inside and get some points that way? It's a 15-point game. Oregon State trying to keep it within reach. Here's Henderson for the Gamecocks. Bounce pass inside, and a foul called as Boston put up the shot. She has 13 points. Just under 3 minutes played in the second half. First free throw is knocked down. Taylor Jones for Oregon State, 7 points, 4 fouls in 11 minutes. It's not been, for this whole Oregon State team, really the type of performance they were seeking. Well, there's still plenty of time to bounce back. Boston hits both free throws. Back into the game for the Beavers is Jelena Mitrovic. A reminder that the NCAA men's ice hockey tournament gets underway with the regional semifinals. Wisconsin takes on Bemidji State Friday, 1 Eastern time. I'll call a few of the NCAA men's ice hockey tournament games. That's for sure. That shot doesn't go, and the rebound is snagged by Goodman. Go forth, and the pass inside forces a foul to be committed by Boston. A little bit too aggressive that time around. That's the second on her. Shot clock resets to 20. It's inbounded to Goodman. Goodman outside, gets it back from Carosdale. along the baseline. It's a cross-court pass, corner three, off the mark, and it's rebounded by Bray Bale. Now underneath the hoop, tripped up is Cook. No foul called, but able to finish is Saxton. And she got fouled on the play, so a three-point play opportunity as Saxton will shoot one and try to make it a 20-point South Carolina lead. It is a three-point play. Saxton drains the free throw. In the first round, she had 20 points, a career high for her. 41-21 now the score. This is handed off to Goforth. Now it's Ellie Mack. Back outside. Jumper won't fall. Those are the type of shots Oregon State have to convert. At the other end, it's Cook. They'll swing it around. Inside, Boston getting away from the double team, moving her way in. And laying it in with the left hand. What a move by Letitia Amahir. 7 points, and South Carolina slowly but surely pulling away. 43-21 is now the score. Oregon State just 27% from the field. That layup won't go. Offensive rebound, and what a block that was. But it's back out. And the corner three is knocked down. Much needed corner three. Converted by Aaliyah Goodman, her second triple of the night. 8 points for her. 43-24 is the score. And how about that? What a response from the Gamecocks. Bria Beal with her first points. The triple is good. She's had 9 rebounds. And that's the problem for Oregon State. Whenever they make a shot, South Carolina respond with a big one of their own. A wild effort there. Well short from Cook. And now slowing it down is Destiny Henderson. Henderson still with it. 4 to shoot. And she draws the foul. Got slapped across the right arm. And that takes us to our under 5 media timeout. 3:43 left in the third quarter. And the South Carolina Gamecocks putting on a show. The lead is now 22 for the 1 seed. All right, as they head to break, let's check in on Virginia Tech Baylor. And my goodness, Baylor putting on a beatdown as well. 57-30 midway through the third. As it's a foul called inside. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in tonight. This has these two games going on right now, not even close, which is unfortunate. I was hoping I'd pick some close games to call, but it is what it is. I at least want to do a couple of NCAA women's tournament games since I do plan to do the Final Four and the final in a few weeks, just to get familiarized with the teams. Of course, I'll be doing more of the men's tournament as well as March Madness continues on Saturday. I'll be on the call for one of the Sweet 16 games on Saturday. I believe I'm planning on doing let me double check what game I plan on doing. There's an offensive foul. And that takes us to break. 4:47 left in the third, and Baylor are cruising 59-30 in San Antonio, Texas. All right, well, after a quick break, I'll be back. More whip-around coverage of the NCAA Women's Tournament. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back in, everybody, as live coverage of the second round in the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament continues. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of the broadcast on this Tuesday night. Later, it'll be Paige Beckers and UConn taking on Syracuse, and Oklahoma State against Stanford. Both of those games wrap up an eight-game slate today. Those two games at 9 Eastern time. Both free throws converted by Henderson. 48-24 now, the lead for South Carolina out of the timeout. 3:43 to go in the third quarter. And Van Olhofen hits a much-needed three. Oregon State just 14 points since the end of the first quarter. They had 13 in the first quarter, but they've only managed 14 points since then. We have 3 minutes left in the third. That pass poked away and stolen by the Beavers. Leading the charge. But unable to knock down the three was Van Olhofen again. On the right wing, here's Littleton. Pass inside, the double team emerges. Nice pass back to Cook, who's fouled. No, it's a clean block, actually, but it will stay in the possession of South Carolina with 2:42 left in the third. This is passed in from the baseline. Cook, the step back, got it. How smooth was that? The deep two from Zia Cook. 10 points for her, along with 3 rebounds and 2 assists. The lead is now 23 for the Gamecocks. 3-point attempt for Oregon State, meanwhile. That's off the back iron. Oregon State, 3 of 15 from beyond the arc. South Carolina just 1 for 8 themselves, but the difference has been South Carolina have got a lot of their points in the paint. They're a very physical team, not afraid to work it down low. It was actually a foul called, and South Carolina are in the bonus, so free throws at the line are on the way here for Amahir. She knocks down the first for her 8th point. It's been a very comfortable night for South Carolina. Second one misses. Battle for the rebound, and eventually it's snatched by Ellie Mack of the Beavers. Here is Goodman for Oregon State. Bounce pass finds Crossdale. It looked like she got poked in the eye. Pass outside. The three-pointer won't go for Von Olhoffen. Olhoffen has been spectacular all season long, but just nothing really going for her or the rest of this team tonight. 27 points, and we're almost through 3 quarters of play. Double clutch. No good from Cook. The putback hit the rim from Saxton, but she did draw contact and will shoot 2 at the line. Now it looks like we've got a timeout. The foul is against Ellie Mack. 1:25 remaining in the third quarter. 51-27. South Carolina in cruise control. As the referees converse. I'm not sure what this is all about, to be quite honest, but we will see. Here's a look at the upcoming schedule for the NCAA Women's Championship. Sweet 16 will be Saturday and Sunday. The Elite 8 on the next Monday and Tuesday. Then the Final Four Friday, April 2nd, 6 and 9:30 Eastern Time. And then the championship Sunday, April 4th at 6. All in San Antonio. The final will take place at this arena, the Alamo Dome. And taking another look. Indeed, Crossdale got poked in the eye. That went unnoticed by the officiating crew as play continued. It wasn't anything vicious, though. Completely accidental. And here is the decision. I don't know if I think they went back to review that, interestingly enough, even though it's South Carolina who have 2 free throws on the way. Yeah, nothing extra there. And so here come the 2 free throws for Victoria Saxton. Crossdale appears to be all right for Oregon State. And the first free throw is knocked down. Four points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks for Saxton. Make it 5 points. She knocks down both free throw attempts. 53-27 is now the score. South Carolina in cruise control. Final 75 seconds of quarter 3. Pass outside, 3 ball on the way, and that's an air ball right into the hands of Littleton. Littleton, cross-court pass. Now here's Henderson. They'll swing it around the perimeter, bounce pass to the baseline, kick back out for Littleton. She pulls up, the deep 2 is short, and it'll be a foul against South Carolina, Oregon State basketball. 54 seconds to play in the third quarter. And in both of the games taking place right now, it's completely one-sided. South Carolina up 53-27 over Oregon State, and then Baylor currently up 66-36 over Virginia Tech. That's a nice block from behind. Getting all of that ball was Saxton, and now the Gamecocks will slow it down. About a 5-second difference between the 2 clocks. Ball in the corner. Now moved up top by Henderson. Swung back around to Littleton. Her three off the mark. Rebound snatched by the Beavers. Up ahead it goes, and it's last touched by South Carolina. Sasha Goforth went up for the shot. Had it knocked away, but it will stay with the Beavers. 4 seconds exactly to play in the quarter. Inbounded into the corner. Now it comes out for Goodman, and her buzzer beater is good. So at least the Beavers managed to end the third quarter on the right note. That was an impressive shot by Goodman at the horn. Let's take a look one more time. 3 South Carolina players in her face. No problem, making the tough shot. And it's a big South Carolina lead as we head to the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, with about 90 seconds left in the third, Baylor have a 68-37 lead over Virginia Tech. But that's a nice three-pointer converted by Shepard of Virginia Tech to make it 68-40. Now here's Merson inside. The layup won't go, and the rebound collected by the Hokies. Cross-court pass. It was mishandled, but went right into the hands of Shepard, who finishes for the easy 2 points. 68-42, and Baylor come flying the other way. And fouled on the shot was Moon Urson. She'll have a pair of free throws coming her way. Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward fall. What's going on? I don't want to call you dumb, but that is your username. I'll call you DUMB. Thanks for tuning in over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by on the stream. Thanks everyone for being a part of tonight's broadcast. It's a day off in March Madness on the men's side, so the women's tournament taking center stage today and tomorrow for second round action from San Antonio. Unfortunately, the games I've been calling have been blowout games, but it is what it is. You can't predict the scores, can you? That three ball won't go for Amore, and here come Baylor in transition again as it's laid in by Nalissa Smith. Yes, that is a logo of Fiorentina. Good eye. Yes. Yep, that's the that's a Fiorentina scarf. Yeah. Yep, my dad he collects a whole bunch of soccer scarves. Like those are just a couple that you can see, but there's a whole lot more off camera on the sidewall. My dad's from Portugal. He coached college soccer, so I'm a huge soccer fan as well. So that is a Fiorentina scarf indeed. Oh, you're Italian. Very good, very good. Yeah. Who is your favorite team in Serie A? I'm an Inter fan, so. And it looks like Inter are going to win the league this year. I don't want to jinx it, though. I don't want to jinx it. There's still good amount of games left as the buzzer beater shot won't go. But nonetheless, it's a 30-point Baylor lead after 3 quarters of play. The Bears are cruising. Of course, Juventus, yeah. Yeah, well, Juventus are struggling this year, aren't they? Yeah. It's been frustrating as an Inter fan all these years, but it looks like this is finally Inter's year. What do you mean you're doing great this year? For Juve standards, you guys are struggling this year. What are you, fourth in Serie A, knocked out of the round of 16 of Champions League? I assume that was sarcastic, but all right, back to Oregon State, South Carolina. 2 points there for Taylor Jones. She now has 9. Oregon State applying the full court pressure. South Carolina escape. Here's Boston up top for Littleton. Bounce pass inside. Boston denied. Gets her own rebound, though. Fake shot. Boston can't finish, but grabs her own rebound again and puts it in. Third time's a charm, 55-31. The offensive rebounding has been key tonight, and a big reason why South Carolina have such a big lead. It's going to be a foul here. Look at the points tonight. It was 14-13 South Carolina after the first quarter, but since South Carolina have outscored Oregon State 41-18. Here's a three ball. No good. And there for the board is Aaliyah Boston. Boston into the front court. She'll find Amahir. Boston working her way inside. It's stripped away. A rare turnover for South Carolina. Here Oregon State pushing it. And count the basket plus the foul. Where has that been all game? Taylor Jones with the finish. And finally, something to be fired up about for the Beavers. As Jones heads to the line, 11 points in 13 minutes. She hasn't had a lot of help, though. That's been the problem. Beavers down by 22. Big mountain to climb, 8 minutes left. She misses the free throw as well. Henderson to Boston. Now it's back with Henderson. Into the lane. Boston to the corner. The three ball won't go. Now it's Jasmine Simmons. Cross-court pass. Back outside. In the post. It cannot be converted on the effort by Taylor Jones down low. South Carolina, despite having such a big lead, still wanting to play at that high pace they like playing at. Boston missed the shot. It looked like she was looking for a foul, one that was never called. Oh, nice pick and roll. Great ball movement. Taylor Jones converts the layup, 55-35, and there's a steal, but the shot was blocked. Goforth denied, and Oregon State cannot take advantage of the steal. And now a timeout will be called by Don Staley in South Carolina. 55-35. The Gamecocks leading by 20, looking to close out and move on to the Sweet 16. We'll see if they can do so as they head to break. Let's check back in on Virginia Tech Baylor. Fourth quarter just underway. 74-42. A beatdown on Virginia Tech from Baylor tonight. And there's Carrington with the field goal. 21 points for her and a quick timeout called by Virginia Tech. Just 49 seconds into the quarter. My goodness. Baylor are just cruising at the moment, 76-42. Wow. All right, well, both games currently in the midst of timeouts, but when I come back, they'll be back out to Oregon State and South Carolina from the Alamo Dome. Stay tuned. Whip-around coverage of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament second round continues next. Welcome back in, everybody. A look at Oregon State under Scott Rueck. Since 2010, 3 Pac-12 regular season championships. They were the 2016 Pac-12 tournament champions, 4 Sweet 16 appearances, and they did make it all the way to the Final Four in 2016. Their first and only appearance in the Final Four in program history. And unless they can pull off a miracle here, it looks like their season will come to a close here in the second round. Oregon State trailing South Carolina 55-35 with 6:43 to play. Here's Brooks. Excuse me. That was Littleton. My bad. Littleton, under a bit of pressure, gets it to the corner. Cross-court pass. The corner three just off the mark. In and out for Cook. 6 minutes remain in this one. That pass tipped and stolen. Here comes South Carolina. That bounce pass, though, picked off. Stolen right back by the Beavers. And that will be tied up. Jump ball as the possession arrow does belong to Oregon State, so it'll stay with the Beavers. 5:49 to play. It's inbounded to Goforth. Goforth looking to pass it to the corner, but a nice read by Bila. She comes away with the steal. Now it's Cook. Yami here. Boston to the corner. Littleton fakes Henderson fakes the three, rather. And that close range shot off the back iron from Boston. Now, pass all the way down court off the fingertips of Goodman, or no, not Goodman, of Carosdale and out of bounds. Aaliyah Goodman does re-enter the game for the Beavers. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists as we are midway through the final quarter at the Alamo Dome. Here's Aaliyah Boston. Now Cook, cross court for Henderson. Back to Cook. Boston. Henderson pulls up. That won't go. South Carolina haven't been shooting the ball great this fourth quarter, but they have the luxury of a 20-point lead that it's not hurting them whatsoever. There's a foul against Goforth. It'll be inbounded on the far side by Destiny Henderson. Now it's Aaliyah Boston. Boston to the corner. Wide open look. No good again. This time it's Cook with the miss. At the other end, it's Goodman. Carosdale with the pass inside. Back up top for Samuel. The kick out and the three, in and out from Goforth. Nothing's falling for both teams in this fourth quarter. It's been 55-35 for quite a while. How about Beal for South Carolina? 11 rebounds. The rebounding's been the key tonight. That's for sure. Cook finds Boston. Boston now to Henderson, who launches the three. That's off the mark. But another offensive rebound by Boston. That's been the story. South Carolina dominating the offensive glass. 3:15 to play in San Antonio. Inside for Boston. Count the basket plus the foul. And one for Leah Boston. And finally, that scoring drought has ended. Nice hook shot from Boston. She'll now shoot one at the line. It looks like a technical foul is assessed to the coach of Oregon. Taylor Jones, by the way, just fouled out. That was her 5th personal. She finishes with 13 points and 4 rebounds. Seems like the coach was frustrated by that foul call. Oh, actually, they've assessed a technical foul to each coach, so they were going at it with each other, it appeared. Yeah, Dawn Staley getting a bit heated now. Even though her team's up by 22, she's still the ultimate competitor. So the referees sort things out. So yeah, it's just a double technical, one assessed to each coach. Here comes the one free throw for Boston for her 20th point of the game. It rims out. The rebound secured by Oregon State. Final 3 minutes now. In a frustrating night for the Beavers. Here's Goodman on the drive. Can't get the floater. Rebounded by Sexton. Now the other way. It's Henderson. Henderson off the screen. Boston with Goforth right in her face. Pass inside. Back out it goes. To the corner. The 3. Off the mark. Just barely by Cook. 2:26 now to play at the Alamo Dome. Yeah, look at the field goal percentage. Oregon State 28%. South Carolina just 36%. And look at the 3-point shooting. 3 of 19 for Oregon State. 1 of 14 for South Carolina. It's been all about the points in the paint and the rebounding tonight. That's been the difference. As that's banked home by Sasha Goforth. Nicely done. She has 6 points. We're into the final 2 minutes now. The winner, which appears as though it will be South Carolina, will face Georgia Tech in the Sweet 16. Pass inside, and that will go. Patient basketball from the Gamecocks. It's Saxton with 7 points after that field goal. 6 rebounds, 5 blocks as well for her. Here's Sasha Goforth. She'll take the contested shot and air ball. And now pushing it for the South Carolina Gamecocks is Cook. She'll reset it up top as they slow it down into the final minute of play now. 59-37. South Carolina lead, and a timeout will be called. So they'll have an opportunity to put in their reserves. A reminder that March Madness Sweet 16 action begins on Saturday. I will be on the call for Baylor Villanova on Saturday in the Sweet 16. That game at 5:15 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Tough way to go out for Oregon State. They just didn't show up tonight. South Carolina, with that size advantage, certainly took advantage. And that'll be a jump ball as Russell got tied up. Possession arrow does belong to South Carolina. Russell lobs it in, and it was lost by Amahir. Here comes Oregon State. Nice lead pass. The layup is good from Jasmine Simmons for the easy bucket. 59-39, half a minute to go. Right wing triple. No good from Olivia Thompson. Oregon State will dribble it out, and that will put a wrap on this one in the second round. Oregon State will probably look to get one more shot away. Here's a drive, and through contact, able to finish with Samuel. 3-point play opportunity here with 5.6 seconds left, so we're not done quite yet. And she knocks down the free throw. 59-42. It's passed into Littleton. She will dribble it out, and there is the horn. It's all over at the Alamo Dome. South Carolina win by a comfortable margin over Oregon State. The final score, 59-42. A low-scoring affair, this one, but the South Carolina Gamecocks won't care as they have advanced to their 7th straight Sweet 16. It's not an unfamiliar position whatsoever for the Gamecocks. This is routine for them, getting to this stage of the competition. But they have goals that go beyond the Sweet 16. But their focus will be set to that Sweet 16 matchup in the Hemisphere region. It'll be the 1 seed South Carolina against the 5 seed Georgia Tech on either Saturday or Sunday. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Hemisphere region, UCLA, Texas, and Maryland, Alabama will be second-round matchups taking place tomorrow. The Leah Boston had quite the performance. Let's hear what she has to say.
So we really need to make sure that we're contesting every shot, that we are giving them any open looks, and we also just worked on getting the ball inside and attacking their bigs.
Well, you got the ball inside, but Destiny Anderson, she wasn't able to get points in game one. How proud were you of her to be able to get her offense going today?
She is so great, isn't she? No, seriously. I mean, in game one, it just didn't happen for her. But this game, she was everywhere. She was doing everything we needed.
Aaliyah, what have you learned about this group in these 2 NCAA tournament games that you guys can take on into the Sweet 16?
I learned that us bringing our own energy really helps us. I mean, it was a close game at some point, and then we kind of we're cheering loud on every possession, no matter what happened. And I think that really helped us open up the lead.
And Aaliyah, I read the article you wrote for the Players Tribune, and you talked about coming into this tournament with 2 seniors that graduated last year on your mind. What does that mean for you to be now moving on to the Sweet 16?
I mean, I'm really excited. I hope Ty and Kiki are watching because we're making you guys proud. Love you guys.
Awesome. Aaliyah, thank you. Congratulations on the win. We will see you in the Sweet 16.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Aaliyah Boston, pretty happy, I'd say. 59-42. She's happy with good reason. She led the way for the Gamecocks as they're moving on to their 7th consecutive Sweet 16. What a win for South Carolina as they, in the end, get the job done, winning by 17 points. A reminder that still to come in about 12 and a half minutes, it'll be Syracuse taking on UConn. Paige Beckers, a first-team AP All-American freshman, ready to go. And meanwhile, also in about 12 minutes, Oklahoma State are set to take on Stanford. Kiana Williams has had a standout year for Stanford. 303-point field goals made over the course of her Stanford career, which is a school record. So those are the two games on tap. Certainly games to look forward to wrap up today's action. Meanwhile, Baylor, as I speak, closing out their victory as they lead at 88-44. We'll head over there for the final seconds as that ball is stolen and laid in at the other end. 90-48 make it. This has been complete dominance from the Baylor Bears. Now it's Virginia Tech with it. Ball on the way. No good from Kayla King. And it can't be saved by Ennis. 3.9 seconds to go. And there you have it. Baylor will dribble it out. What a statement victory. 90-48. Baylor takes down Virginia Tech. It was a very comfortable night for the Baylor Bears, saving their legs for the Sweet 16. We talked about South Carolina advancing their 7th straight Sweet 16. Baylor have now advanced to their 12th straight Sweet 16, their 15th in program history. And so, just like with South Carolina, Baylor are used to getting to the Sweet 16. This is no new situation for them, but they'll certainly be pleased with the dominant performance they put forth tonight. There's no doubt about that as they win by 42. Let's take a look at that Riverwalk region. The bracket really starting to take shape when it comes to the Sweet 16. The winner of UConn-Syracuse, which is coming up at 9 Eastern in a couple of minutes, will take on Iowa. And then it'll be Michigan against Baylor in the other Sweet 16 matchup in that Riverwalk region. That Baylor-Michigan matchup should definitely be interesting because Michigan certainly have proved that they're a team worthy of being in the Sweet 16. And after the victory, let's hear what a coach has to say. Big victory for the Baylor Bears. And here are the post-game thoughts of their head coach.
Kenny, I just respect the heck out of that man. He's a good coach. He's got a lot of youth on that team. He's got a good team. And that's what I told him right here after the game is don't look at the scoreboard because you got a heck of a team coming back. About our defense, that's as impressive a defense as I've ever put on the floor in an NCAA tournament game, maybe in all of my coaching. They were active, they were excited, they were helping each other. And everybody knows NaLyssa Smith is our All-American, but as you saw today, we've got more than NaLyssa Smith, and everybody's pulling for each other. And guys, that's what it's going to take to win championship because you got to play defense, and you got to pull for each other, and certainly you got to stay away from injury.
And, Coach, in particular, Queen Egbo really set the tone with her blocks. And you mentioned to us that you felt like she put on quite a performance in the Big 12 tournament. You ended up with 13 blocks on the night. Most of them were Queen. She had Kitley. Just talk a little bit about her development and what you saw from her tonight that will help you moving forward.
Well, I think Queen Egbo should have been on the all-tournament team at the Big 12 tournament, but you know how the media is, how she was even excluded from that. But we don't care about individual things. I just have to say that because as impressive as she was tonight, she was like that the entire Big 12 tournament. Her defense, her offensive rebounding, her altering shots, she's coming into her own now. You know, she's, worked her way to being an outstanding player. She's athletic. She can contest shots, and now she's finishing shots. She's going to the offensive board. She runs the floor. What a great compliment she is to NaLyssa Smith.
All right, Coach Mulkey, thank you so much. Congratulations, and we'll see you in the Sweet 16. You got Michigan next. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there you hear it from Kim Mulkey, longtime head coach of Baylor. And looking at the Riverwalk region one last time, next up for Baylor will be the Michigan Wolverines. On the other side of that bracket will be either UConn or Syracuse against Iowa. And we are facing a possible Elite Eight matchup of UConn-Baylor. What an Elite Eight matchup that would be, but we're not there yet. But it is definitely shaping out to be a real possibility, as we saw right when the bracket came out. 90-48 the final. It was all the Baylor Bears in this one, as that will conclude my broadcast. I am Samuel Reese saying good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. It'll be a must-see broadcast. U.S.-Mexico in the CONCACAF Olympic qualifiers for soccer. Cannot wait. Make sure you are there in that ultimate rivalry game. See you next time.